Alright, it is story time. First off, I want to say no, this video is not advocating you to go out there and drop out of college. So I'm not responsible if your parents whoop your ass for leaving school right now. This video is more so to serve as inspiration and motivation and to tell my story about my life. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll tell you guys how dropping out of college changed my life. So first I want to start off with growing up. So obviously I'm Asian, I'm Cambodian, and I want to just say first off, shout out to my Cambos out there. And second, growing up, I was the first generation to be here in America and be born here. My parents were born out in Cambodia, and so they had expectations for me to go to college and get a degree and get a good job because they believe that's the only way to be successful and be happy in life. I thought that was the only way as well until I got into college and I realized this isn't really what we thought it was. Obviously, our parents grew up in a different generation and opportunities are different, and we realized that college is not the only option for success and happiness nowadays. Now, I went to Santiago Canyon College out in OC. It was actually a nice school. It was really cool. I was like the only Asian out there. Most of everyone else was like Caucasian, so I guess it was cool. Now, while I was in college learning kinesiology, I was also recently certified as a personal trainer, and I started working my personal trainer job at the same time studying in school and whatnot. And I had a goal in mind that I wanted to be a trainer and then open up my own gym, and I thought that was the way I was going to support myself and how I was going to have a happy life and whatever the case may be. But to do those things requires actually you to be a business owner, and I realized that very soon because when I was in my kinesiology class, I was like, wait a minute, why am I learning all this stuff? Why am I learning kinesiology if I actually don't want to be an athletic trainer and I don't want to be a physical therapist? I want to open up my own gym one day and have my own business. So I switched my major and I changed it from kinesiology all the way to business, and I figured, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So as I was studying business, I was learning business administration and I was learning about law and stuff like that, and very soon I started to also realize, okay, now I'm not really learning the things that I need to grow my business as a gym owner or a personal trainer, or learn how to get more clientele or anything like that. They're just teaching me about law and then also just like accounting. And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why am I in this? And so I was really unhappy with school, and I saw that it wasn't getting me anywhere. It wasn't gonna help me grow my business, which is what I really wanted to do. And so I was sitting in class one day and I was like, I really hate it here, and this is not helping me with my business. So while I was sitting in class and contemplating and thinking about like, why am I here and what am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. I'm wasting a lot of time learning things that aren't applicable to my own business and growing my own business. So I sat there in my accounting class and I was just thinking, I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. So I told myself, I'm gonna give myself 6 months to make over $4,000 within a month for my personal training business. If I can't reach this goal by July of 2018, I'm gonna go back to school. So there you go. I set my goal, I knew what I was gonna do, and so I stood up right in the middle of my accounting class and I left. And you're goddamn right, I did not look back ever again. So how did my parents react when I told them that I dropped out of college? And was it very long after I dropped out? Well, it took a few weeks for me to do this, but once I told my mom that I dropped out, it was really devastating to her. And she was, first off, she was pissed as hell. She was ready to kick me out and she thought I was gonna fail and all that good stuff. And it was a very dramatic time, I will say. Noted, she had every good reason because of course she immigrated from Cambodia to America. She came here and worked her ass off and provided me with stability so that I could have an opportunity to go to college. But what I tried to explain to her is that the main thing is you worked hard to provide me with opportunities so that I have a chance to choose to go to college or not to go to college. My mom didn't have a choice, so she couldn't go to college. And so now I could have that choice, but it's all about the choice and the opportunity that I have, not just to go straight to college and that's the only way. And that's what I tried to explain to her. So it was a rough time and I got a lot of slack for it, and my mom was giving me shit saying like, it's not too late to go back to school, you know, you could change your degree, you should change the business that you're doing, you should stop doing this, go back to school and just go and be a doctor or something. And I was just not happy. It was a lot of stress and emotional heartache and headache and all that good stuff because it's just, you live with your mom and you're just always being bickered at about your future and that you might just fail. But the thing about it is when you leave college, it can light a fire up your ass, and because you no longer have a plan B now, you only have a plan A, and my business was my only plan A, and that meant I had no other choice but to be successful at that business. So I worked my ass off to make sure that I proved to myself and to my mom that I can do this myself. So I dropped out of school in September of 2017, and in March 2018, I met my goal of making over $4,000 within a single month. And at that point, I knew that I did not need school to reach my goals and be successful and be happy. I knew that I could do it myself if I just put my mind to it, worked hard, hustled, had a goal, and focused on that. That was it, really. So I was able to meet my goal 3 months early, and that was just the best moment of my life because I knew I had something in me that could take me where I wanted. Now, even though I met that goal, it still wasn't enough to my mom. I mean, making $4,000 a month isn't enough to get you a house or anything like that in California. It's still not significant enough. It's only $50,000 a year at most. And so that's what I was making, but it still wasn't sufficient enough to my mom. And so even though she was getting used to the idea of me not going back to school, she was still bickering at me about it and just laying it on me every day, every week. It's just always constantly saying, go back to school. It's not too late to change. Change now, go back and you'll be successful. Your life will be so much easier. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm gonna be freaking miserable if I stay in school and if I get a degree and if I work for somebody. I knew that I couldn't work for somebody anymore. I already tried it working at jobs and working corporate jobs as a personal trainer, and I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it at all. I already got a taste of what it's like to own your own business and be your own boss, and I loved it and I could not go back. So how has college really changed my life after I dropped out? Well, it led me to light a fire and fuel my ambition so I can hustle and work hard towards my business. And from going from owning a personal training business and dreams of wanting my own gym, which maybe I still will open up one day, it actually evolved into me going into e-commerce, which is another passion of mine. I did pretty well in my personal training business, making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, but I realized it wasn't scalable and I knew I couldn't do it long term. I couldn't do it while I was 40 years old, and so I needed an exit plan. I knew that I needed to free up my time and I couldn't tie money to time anymore. And that's when I went out and I started researching ways to make passive income, and I came across Amazon FBA, which is my current business. And I couldn't have done that without dropping out of college because it forced me to look for more streams of income. It forced me to grow and evolve and think further and think towards the future and see what other opportunities are out there that I could be good at. And so fast forward a couple years later, after my personal training business, I was able to use the funds from my personal training business, invest it into my Amazon business, and now I have a multiple six-figure business that was able to get me my dream car, move out of my mom's place and into my dream apartment, and also take my family out on a vacation, and more importantly, free up my time. And now I'm financially stable and I work whenever I want and I go wherever I want. I'm not stuck to one location or one time frame or anything like that. I basically have freedom of time now. And real quick, I'll show you guys my Amazon account so you guys can see the actual numbers. All right, so I'm gonna refresh this for you. And boom, there you go. So in the last 12 months, I've done almost $300,000 in my business. Nearly $300,000 in 12 months. And that's not something I could have done on my personal training business. And guess how many hours I worked to achieve that? I worked literally maybe like 5 hours a week at max per week, not even per day, per week. Versus my personal training job, I was working like 12-hour days. It was crazy, only making $50,000 out of that. And so you could see how scalable it's been, and I couldn't have found these opportunities and worked my way up towards these opportunities without dropping out of college and finding it and experiencing it for myself. So what are my thoughts about college? Well, if you're trying to own your own business or start up your own company or your own brand or whatever the case may be, I suggest going out there and getting experience yourself, doing it. Learn by experience and actually go out there and take the leap and just do the business. That's it. Do whatever business you want, whether it's online or a physical business or a service type business, it doesn't matter. Go out there and try it out and do it yourself. Don't rely on college to teach you because they're not going to teach you. There's so many types of different business out there. You have to go out there and learn it yourself. Now, on the contrary, if you're in a profession and you're trying to learn how to be a doctor or a teacher or an engineer, you better stay in school. I mean, I would hope you do because like that, I would not want to be operated by a doctor who don't have a degree. I don't even trust that. But those types of areas, it's okay to be that. It's okay to want to be a teacher. It's okay to be a doctor. You don't have to be a business owner. College is not for everyone, and business is also not for everyone. So figure out what you enjoy and what you like. But you should go to college first anyways, just to kind of see what you like and what you don't. And when you realize if you don't, then leave. But the thing is, you don't want to just leave out of nowhere. Don't leave college just because you don't like it, okay? I recommend if you want to drop out of college, make sure you have a plan and you set a goal, okay? Not just because you're lazy and you don't want to go to school. I had a plan and I had a goal. Okay, in 6 months, I need to make this much money by myself from my own business. If I do it, then I'll never look back. And if I don't, I'll go back to school. So don't drop out of nowhere. You need to be prepared, and I recommend you have a plan first. And then once you have that idea, then go 100% into it. Hustle, work hard towards it, because the reality of it, nobody's gonna give it to you. Nobody's gonna give you a happy life. Nobody's gonna give you $100,000. Nobody's gonna give you a degree either. You have to work towards these things and earn it. You have to go and earn the lifestyle that you want, whether it's through college or not. That's the whole thing. So that is the conclusion of my story and how dropping out of college has changed my life. So I hope you guys found this motivational, inspirational. I hope you liked it. So go ahead and like the video down below, man. Subscribe for more content if you guys want to learn your own Amazon business or help with your own entrepreneurship journey. As always, my name is Kevin Pack. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace.